Okay, guys. So another special episode here and another very special guest. Like for this one, I am very jacked. Like I'm very excited for me to be here, in the presence of you. Again, I'm gonna read some of the bio here for you who are not familiar with Alvin so far, but you should. You should go and check him out on Facebook, and we're gonna talk what social platforms he's on. I'm pretty sure he's on all of them, all over the place. So in front of us is here Alvin Tucker. So Alvin D. Tucker II, as it says here.
Yeah.
So he said, he sent this bio. So he said he loves speaking about empathy and how it shapes the impact that our business have on the people we serve. That's very powerful. A lot of business owners, real estate professionals, focus on the surface level benefits that result from his services, not knowing the deeper and more significant impact of the transformations he helps others to achieve. So he, as a result, he helped fulfilled throughout living of the purpose. Man, there's some very, very deep stuff because like reading. I was reading. Sorry for that. Again, English is not my first, but I know guys are supporting me, so click like for that. But
right on.
It's very interesting because again, you're looking again from marketing standpoint. You're a marketing guy, and you're doing your business. You're helping real estate businesses, but you're talking about helping people, fulfilling their needs, and it's just phenomenal. I love the vibe. So and what he basically has the #1 digital marketing agency for real estate investors, where he helps top-level investors by bringing them a consistent and predictable flow of qualified, motivated seller leads through Facebook ads and automated follow-up systems. So go to the website eruptsales.com. That's eruptsales.com, and check it out. His services, where he works again with all the. Mainly, do you work like who's the clientele? Who's the main client for yourself?
Well, high-level investors that have experience, investors that are generally doing about 3 to 5 deals per month, investors that have teams, they have acquisition managers, they have a disposition team, investors that can handle
buying houses.
What'd you say?
Buying houses mainly, or
yeah.
Got
buying
it.
houses for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So again, first of all, really thank you for being on the show. As I said, it's an honor to have you on again, being same age, the things that you accomplished so far. It's awesome. And again, I love that you have this business, which is new age. As I remember, I said I was a broker before. Phone calls, newspapers, kind of outdated. So I love what you bring into the game, with the marketing, innovation, technology, funnels and all of that. So it's awesome, man. I'm excited to dive in. But before that, maybe you can tell the audience kind of a little bit of your story, where you're coming from, how did you, evolved into being, this marketing guy, having this company and all the success.
Sure. So what I really want to do is tell a story about how much real estate investors and what they do mean to me. So when I was 13, about 7th grade, I wanted to go to one of the best schools in the country, right? And my dad was he was a realtor. And so we didn't have enough money to afford the tuition for this school because it was like a college tuition. And so I would say, how are we going to make this happen? He would say, how are we going to make this happen? But nonetheless, we would, even though I was kind of at that age, I really don't worry about too much anymore, but I was kind of worried. I was like, I want to go to this school. I met some phenomenal people. And lo and behold, we used to go and visit my grandmother, and she had dementia. So they were moving her to a nursing home. And while we would go to her house, I used to see, because she was a little older, I would see how messy things were. And then, weeks would go by, every week would go by, I would ask my dad, what's the status? Can we do this? Or, you know what I mean? And so one day he said, we actually sold the house. And I was like, what kind of idiot would buy that house? You know what I mean? I'm thinking that, hey, look, we realtors, I see my dad, he's buying nice houses or helping people buy nice houses and just selling nice houses. So I had never been exposed to someone buying a house that was in distress. And so that was, he sold it to a cash buyer, and I got the money to be able to go to that school. And so that really gave me my first taste of working with a real estate investor and the power of what they do. And from there, as my marketing journey, continued to progress, I decided, hey, look, I'm going to, give back to their industry the way that they gave back to me, for sure.
Yeah. And that's when was that? When your father sold the property? Was the father broke? When did you sell the property? How old were you at the time?
I was about 13, so I didn't really get it. I didn't get it at all what was going on. I thought someone must be crazy to buy a house that looks terrible like this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wasn't until like last year that I put it together, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I asked him, and he told me that's what happened.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Again, you know, we probably gonna be skipping a lot of years because again, since that like it's 17 years past, but
Yeah.
we're gonna be discussing everything that happened in your life in all these years. So I'm sure it will be great and awesome, and maybe we can discuss that going in the future in a second episode.
Sure.
So
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, but maybe you can tell the people like when did you decided to create this company, and like how did you get an idea for that, like what
Mhm.
impacted you to make that type of decision?
Well, I was going through some financial struggle because I hated working jobs. I'm just one of those people that wasn't meant to work jobs. You know, not that jobs are bad or anything like that, but it just wasn't for me. And so
Yeah.
around like 2014 and 2015, I was going through some financial struggle, and I actually saw an ad somewhere from Sam Ovens, and he was speaking about doing online marketing, and I was like, the light bulb went off. It's like I can do this, you know, and so I started off with e-commerce, you know, where you're selling products online, buy them low, sell them high. And that just didn't do it for me because there's no human connection. People are buying from you like in the store. You don't really get to, you know, feel that you're helping someone out with a big goal or making an impact on their lives. So I started to do some freelance work on Upwork and freelancer.com and started to do many different industries, dentists, doctors, mortgage loan officers, you know, different companies where I could interact with the people that, you know, that I was serving. And that fulfilled me in a lot of ways. And then I ended up buying a course from Alex Shalinsky, my mentor. Shout out to Alex again, you know, and his course was teaching me not to shoot so low that you don't have to work hourly and that you really need to choose a niche. And so I was thinking about what niche have I worked with the most, and it was real estate investors. And prior to that, I really hadn't had all the success in the world with real estate investors for various reasons, but I just continued to stick with it. And here we are today for sure.
Mm, that is awesome, man. That is definitely a great story. I mean, the journey just continues. I mean,
For sure.
so good because definitely you're planning to do this long term. So, like, but what do you see when you come across like all these, like for maybe first of all, the question again for the audience, because like I want to get the clear image like of what the service is, like what do you offer? So maybe you can, talk more about that.
Sure, yeah. So we design and we run Facebook advertisements on Facebook timelines, and we target people that are highly likely to be distressed sellers, people that are going through divorce, people that are dealing with probates, people that are relocating and such. So when they're scrolling through their timelines, they see an ad that says, "Hey, look, I'm Martinez. I own this such and such company. You may be in a situation where you need to sell your property fast, but it's not going to sell on the MLS,
Mhm.
So we can buy your house for cash. We can buy it fast. And this is why we do it. We've helped a lot of people in certain situations like you, and we really care. So we'll make you a fair and honest offer. Click the button below." So they'll see that, and then they'll click the button. They'll fill out a short form with their name, email, phone number, and their property address as well. And then
Yeah.
we will actually qualify the leads for investors. So that's something that we do differently when the lead comes in. If it comes in at 1 a.m. or 3 a.m., I would hope that my clients sleep. So we qualify the leads through text messages. And by the time our clients wake up, they have all of this leverage and contact information. And the reason why someone's selling is the property vacant and how much they're asking for, how soon they want to sell. They have all of this stuff so that they can get on the phone with them, ask a few more questions, and make a great offer.
Hmm. Love it, love it, love the approach. I love the process of it. But maybe we can kind of take it part by part and kind of explain like audience like first of all, because like when I'm a more kind of a visual guy, and
For sure.
so I kind of imagine if I will be going through the Facebook, like what particular would I see? Would there be like a video or a picture? Like what would it get my attention?
No, that's a really good question. You're really good at this, so images work well, and then also like a lot of times I'm preaching this empathy thing because these people want to. One of the big questions that we always ask is, what does this seller have to believe to be true about you in order to do business with you? Is it that Martinez is not going to lowball us with an offer? Is it that he's a local, home buyer, and he really cares about, economic development in our area. It's just that he's a down to earth guy, and we can walk past him or meet him, run into him at Walmart. And so it's things like that that we convey through videos. It's harder to do with images. You can do it. You can do it through images, but you want to also use videos and a combination of them, because you can actually show people inside the houses. So that way you don't encounter sellers that are selling these nice mega mansions or, nice houses that can make it on the MLS. You can show them, hey, look, the toilet's over there and it's broken. You can show them that, hey, look, the paint on the walls is missing. It's missing. You can show them that the roof is, it's having a tough time up there. So you can actually show people through this video and convey a message to them that says, hey, look, because you're not really, this is a big transaction. You're not buying a shirt. You're buying a house, And so there has to be a level of trust. They have to like you, and they obviously have to know you. So that's where videos come into play. But you can do it through images, and you can do it through what you write in the messaging, because what you write in the messaging, I find a lot of times that people, they tell who they want to do business with, but they do not tell who they do not want to do business with. And that's a big thing, where you have to repel a certain type of people and say, hey, look, if you can sell this hot property on the MLS, then this isn't for you. You may want to keep scrolling. I don't want to waste your time. I value your time, and I want to help the people that need my help. So that's really how we do it, through images and videos, and just the messaging and how important that is.
So again, you're looking to buy the property again from the owners as well, and you're looking to sell it to the investors through the same process as well. Of course, the posting is going to be different, but everything is going on through the Facebook ads, right?
Right. Yeah. Everything. So sometimes they will wholesale it, so buy it from a distressed seller and just sell the contract to another investor who may want to turn it into a rental property or to flip it. And then we also have clients that they buy it for themselves and they flip it. I just onboarded another investor out of I believe it's Charleston, and he wants the property so he can flip them. So that's an option as well. And then we have clients that, when people are going through foreclosure and they don't want to lose their home, these people don't want to sell their home. So we have clients that have helped stop foreclosures by, a number of different ways. So these are generally the main options that our clients are generally working with, and the main goals that they have.
Okay, very interesting. So, like what is the statistics? I mean, if we get into the numbers, like what does it take for somebody, let's say if I have a distressed property, I'm looking to sell it, what do you think, crops, you don't have to be going to specific numbers, like how much is it going to cost, but if we're going to look at the time frames, how long, and maybe, let's say approximately the budget that I should have, to put something out there, and how fast is it going to happen?
For sure. So when our clients to work with us outside of the capital investment for our services, which is different, the advertising budget that we recommend everybody come in with is at least $1,000 per month. And out of that $1,000, you generally, early on, you may not get a deal your first month or your second month. Generally, you definitely can, but we want to set the expectations that doesn't always happen. You will always get qualified leads. Now, whether they sell to you in that moment or that the next month, it's really up to them and your negotiation. And this is the reason why we generally only work with high level investors. So you come in with $1,000 budget, and you generally see that you can, especially when you get to the second month, third month, you can definitely get about 2 to 3 deals potentially from that $1,000. And then as time goes on, you have people, it's kind of like a revolving door. Like the people that you first spoke to that first month, they may come back around in the third month or in the fourth month. And then you have these deals closing in addition to the new deals, the new people that see your ads. And that's when things really get rolling with you. So that's why we recommend people stay on for at least 90 days. And generally, it'd be best if you stay on for 6 months. Give yourself the ability, give yourself the best chance to make this work for you. You're getting, we'll earn your business and earn your trust by showing you that you can have real conversations with people that need to sell. And so that's the first step that we get to. Once you see that, that it's only a matter of time when it comes down to the numbers.
And I think I'm gonna provide, more flow towards the business right now because of what I'm gonna just about to say.
For
Because
sure.
again, people already know where the markets are going, and again,
Mhm.
look at like the stock market. Like I see all the investors that providing, all these investment vehicles, they're shouting right now and putting more effort towards it and saying like, hey,
Right.
hey, look what's going on in the stock market. No, like, no, look what I got.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like for the people, again, like for your benefit and for the people who are like working with you, what you're saying is so true. If you just stick like, with your company, with your business for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months or even
Yeah.
longer, because you know what happens when the market shifts. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's a sad truth, but a lot of people are going to lose the home. A lot of people will
Right.
be looking to sell. A lot of people will sell again for lower prices that they currently are right now.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there will be a tremendous, opportunity for, again, people who are liquid with capital available, to invest. So what you're saying is so true. Everything that you have to look at is long term. I mean, there
Right.
is no quick fix, like
Yeah.
everything, it takes time. I mean, to get people attention, because like, is it only the Facebook that you do the ads, or there's other platforms that you cover for the same amount of money, or it's only Facebook?
I actually get this question a lot. We just do Facebook ads and then we set up the system on the back end that saves investors a lot of time.
Hmm.
However, we are fond of Google ads and the companies that do that as well. And we like to advise our clients if they can, if they're looking into Google ads, Facebook ads and Google ads really work very well. They complement each other very well. And so there's different ways that you can do it. We don't necessarily offer it as a service just yet. I think we may even end up getting there because so many people keep asking. However, just to say, if someone's out there right now looking at this and they're like, well, should I go Facebook ads? Should I go Google ads? And you have a big enough budget, then you should just do both. Or start with one or the other first, and then as you get traction from that one, then bring the other one on. I would advise that.
Got it. So how did you find out even like to pick one niche over another? Because not one niche, one platform. Because
Mhm.
again, there is all these different platforms available, Twitter, LinkedIn,
Right.
podcast, Facebook, again, Instagram. So how did you pick again, like how did you determine this is where my audience is, and
Mhm.
instead of picking, let's say, Instagram or LinkedIn?
Well, just the empathy. A lot of what we do comes right back to empathy. If you can, for instance, like I said, I love Google Ads. However, when Google Ads, you do get targeted people by, they know what they want when they click on that Google ad. However, when it comes to Facebook, you can show videos. You can show testimonial videos where you've helped sellers, and when they can explain what they were going through, what type of stress and pressure they were under, because these people, they're in a lot of stress and pressure. That's why I tell our investors, like, don't underestimate the impact that you make on these people. That cash bar may have saved my life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so don't underestimate that. And this is why I chose Facebook, because you can put up videos, you can have images, you can write a bit more you can write long stories, you can write short stories, you can do a lot and be as creative as you want with your messaging. And I love just I feel like I'm more of an artist than even a business owner. You know what I mean? So I look at it like art, and the way that you craft messages and the way that you repel people that are not good fits for you. And I love doing that. And so that's the reason why I really chose Facebook, just the creativity and then the ways to be personable and to paint a picture of my clients as the local buyer. You know what I mean? The guy
Exactly.
that you can run into, or the girl that you can run into
Yeah.
in Romans, or the person that's in the community and they are doing work where it's volunteer work. So when you can paint all of these pictures, or the person that has a nice relationship and they're always smiling, and a lot of these things that seem like they have nothing to do. I just told one of our new clients today, and I said, hey, look, man, it's good that you have pictures with your wife on your business page, because that's important, So
Yeah.
that's a really important thing. And that's really why I chose Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. Like Facebook definitely works, and maybe at the end, Facebook is just gonna own the entire thing. They
Right.
just
Yeah, you never know.
control the internet. They're gonna buy everything. I don't think they're gonna buy everybody, but Instagram, they have that stuff, and
Yeah,
Fiber or
literally.
whatever. Like they're going insane, in the marketplace. So definitely, I see why you use this. I mean,
Yeah.
there's again a lot of people in Facebook, and like Facebook is kind of. I think Facebook is everybody, because
Yeah.
again, there's you know, if there's a kid who is 5 or maybe 3 and he knows, because I know those kids probably are watching my show right now, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if they can register on Facebook, they're going to be
Yeah,
using that. They're going to be
yeah,
scrolling. If you're
yeah,
95 or 195, if you're
yeah,
still alive, if you're record holder, you know, of longest man living or woman, and if you know how
yeah,
to scroll that, you know how to like posts, I mean, you're going to be there on the Facebook, because
right.
almost, you know, more than half of the world is on the Facebook. So, you know, but like, where do you see all this going, like in the future? Like, do you see like what's going to happen, you know, behind the corner, like what's going to happen with the real estate and like lead generation? Like where's that, what do you think, like where's this all thing going?
Yeah, well, I look at myself like a visionary. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing or think about, it's like 15, 20 years out. So even for an example, I look at who who is going to be the majority of your audience, your ideal clients, the motivated sellers in 30 years from now. You know, who's going to be the ideal client in 20 years from now? It's going to be people like us. We're going to be motivated sellers. You know, maybe we won't be, but from our demographic, you know, 50, 45, 60, and us, we're on a podcast right now. So we've been ingratiated to this innovation and the way that it's moving. So those are going to be the people that are going to be in your ideal audience without a doubt. Then you want to think and build your brand up as much as you can and get your systems down right now, because these people aren't going to be looking for mail. You know, these people aren't going to really be looking for cold calls. You know, that stuff will I feel like it will always work.
Yeah.
However, when you have a chance to, you know, let's say you put some ads up, they get a chance to see your face. Then when you call them, maybe they've seen you already, you know, and these are the people that you're going to be doing business with in 15, 20 years from now. So that's where I see it going. And I would urge anyone to not get lost in the sauce where your business is threatened, because just like, you know, my business, there's deeper meanings and deeper reasons why we're doing all of this. You know, maybe it's for your kids, maybe it's for your legacy. And you don't want to put yourself or your family or the people that you care about or your legacy in jeopardy because you had a chance to see the trend of this. You know, these markets are still not saturated. I don't think that they'll even be saturated because, you know, Facebook is a non-intrusive way. You can run a Facebook ad to somebody and they can be in their kitchen and they see your ad, you know. So that's where I see it going. And I think it's best. I always advise my clients and other people, even if it's not with us, you should do something, you know, do something, find somebody that can do it for you and get yourself in position so that you can capitalize on the market. When you know stuff like direct mail, the conversion rates are going down. You know, when you know you have to put more boots in the ground and call more people, you know, just don't ignore the market, flow with the stream instead of against it in this case.
So true, man. You just spilled some gold, man. It's
Sure.
awesome. I love the thinking that you have about, again, because you were in the business, so it's no
Right.
brainer that you understand the business. You know, you're
Right.
like, man, like everybody should be doing this, which not everybody does, and that's why some people just stick with you for a month. They're like, oh, the thing doesn't work, and they just drop out and they go and search for another thing, which is, you know, like consistency and staying long term in something is one of the keys to success. So, you
Yeah.
know, if the approach doesn't work, just change the approach. And like, that's what you're doing, you know, you're just seeing like, okay, how the algorithms working, like how can I get people attention, like what's trending, like all of that, and just combined into your, you know, messages. But what you mentioned, you know, just a couple of things, like systems. I love the word, by the way. It's very important for any business to have those.
Right.
And branding. So maybe you can give some tips, again, for the people who are like, let's say real estate, they're fresh, like in the market, like nobody knows them except maybe they just, you know, banging on the phones, you know, from time to time. So like, how do they should position themselves on social media, maybe besides Facebook as well, from a brand standpoint?
That's a great question. I have a client down in Florida right now, and he's doing like 100 deals a year. And so when I first brought him on, we have onboarding calls. So once you make the payment, we onboard you for like maybe like 30, 45 minutes to set your expectations, do little things and set things up. And so I was talking to him about the foundation for his business. And I saw that I asked him if he had any reviews, his reviews, because he got a lot of bad ones. He has a lot of good ones. But, you know, those few, he felt that people were paying attention to most, which I don't believe. And so he said, one of the big things that I told him, I said, hey, look, man, you're doing 100 deals per year, and nobody knows it, you know? And so that right there, you could look like it's amazing that you're even doing this amount of deals, but you're really losing out on a lot of money and you're losing out on a chance to help a lot of people, which is the most important thing, because when people come and do research on your business, there's no testimonial videos on your website. There's no, you know, you did away with the reviews. And so for him, I said, man, it looks like you just got into the industry. And so just turn the reviews on. I ended up making a document for our clients after that for people, like how to get testimonials from people, because that's something that people really struggle with, you know. Even with the guy I brought on today, he said, no one, you know, it's awkward for this, which is just a belief, you know. Well, I saw you work with, yeah, it's just a belief. If you say that people are going to feel awkward about it, then you're not going to have testimonials. And when I told him, I said, hey, look, if you, you know, we don't do this for us. We do this for the people that we can help. So if testimonials are going to help you help more people, then you just have to do it. You know, it's a no-brainer. And so when it comes to branding, I would advise, you know, getting testimonial videos, even for any deal. These are people that you help save. Think about the impact that you have on people. Maybe someone's, you know, their mother passed away and it's a probate situation. You know, you buying a house for them can bring them closure, and closure is key, you know. And so when you do something as powerful as bring someone closure, do you think they're going to give you a testimonial video? Of course. You know, if the cash buyer were to come to me today and say, hey, look, man, I bought that house from your father and you got to go to that great school, it changed your whole life, I would be more than happy to do it right now, you know. So in terms of branding, I would definitely advise testimonial videos, put them on your website. Everyday things that you're doing, take videos of yourself walking through property inspections, give value to people on what to look for in their house, how to come up with some of the numbers themselves. Take videos of you at closings, take videos of you doing everything that you normally do. And that's one of the biggest things about this, is that you don't have to really come up with anything new. You're already doing this stuff. You know what I mean? So you just have to really shine a light on it, and then we shine a bigger light on it. And so I would advise that. And then just everyday things. If you do some volunteer work, put that on there. If it's a picture of you and your girlfriend, or you and your boyfriend, or you and your wife, use that as your profile picture so that people can connect with the person that you are. People do business with people. They don't do business with businesses. So that's really important when it comes to branding as well.
Yeah. Again, dropping bombs again, you know, it's definitely great, very solid advice, you know, because like I'm thinking, again, I'm on the same page as you, because, you know, growing a brand, and again, it's coming back to doing a long-term thing. Like once you stop pushing yourself, you know, from a marketing standpoint, whatever way you do, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook only, you know, I'm a believer like using everything that's available currently right now for your business. Right. If you're watching, you're a business owner, it doesn't matter what business you are, you should be using everything, you know, phone calls, like, you know, direct mailing, like everything. But, you know, because from business perspective standpoint, you know, like there's a lot of business people, so-called, but they're trying to do everything by themselves. And that's where businesses fail. So instead of that, you should go and outsource and, you know, like, you know, go and hire like Alvin and just, okay, how do you do the Facebook ads? Don't try to figure everything, you know, like don't try to be, and that's where you've come across these people like on Instagram. Now I see less and less of those people, which is great. Because before I used to go and see like investor, entrepreneur, musician, brand owner, like influencer. It's ridiculous. Right. And like, you don't try to be all of those, just be one guy at, you know, at one thing and just be phenomenal at it. You know, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, you know, what I'm thinking about the business, and again, the 17 years that we skipped before, you know, maybe you just can take us throughout the journey. How did you changed maybe the mindset and, you know, like implementing some, you know, business wisdom into yourself? Because like we all raised into this environment, you know, like colleges, schools, universities, it's very like standard type of, you know, in the box thinking. So how did you develop your own like business mindset, or did you have you born with it, or like?
Oh no, man, I used to be my mindset and my beliefs were terrible around when I feel like I really saw the light when I was 22. I used to be the most negative person, and this is really good. And so I used to have this friend, he would tell me about books like The Secret, which is, you know, give or take, but it can start you off. But in other books, and then one day we were on our way to Orlando, and And I was like, we were staying in college in Melbourne, which is not as fun, nearly as fun as Orlando. And so we were getting in the car, about to go out there for the weekend. And I was saying, man, this is not going to be fun. If you had told me anything in like 21 and before, I would have said, told you the reasons why you couldn't do it. And he got so angry and he hopped out of the car and he just said, no, I'm done with this. And I saw how angry he got. And it changed. I said, oh my goodness, maybe he's right. And so I really started training my mind since 22, like really like, and I tell people when I'm maybe even coaching them, even if they're in different industries, on how powerful the mind is, that, hey, look, this is not going to happen overnight. It took me like 7, 8 years to really get to where I am right now. You have to train it like a muscle consistently. And so that, I find that, I mean, we both know this, and people know watching this, it doesn't really matter how skilled you are. It doesn't matter how much work you put in. If your beliefs are not correct, if your beliefs are not positive, if you're not open-minded, then you are going to fall short. And it's going to get extremely frustrating because you're saying, hey, look, I'm doing all of this, right? I'm talking to sellers, or even if you're doing anything else, you know what I mean? If you have a construction company or you're a dentist or a doctor, you're going to say, I'm doing all of this, I'm studying hard, and then these beliefs are going to shape your thoughts, and your thoughts are really going to shape your actions, and what you can and feel you can't accomplish. And that's a really sad thing, because you won't meet a ton of people if you don't. I was fortunate to come across somebody who really, if he had gotten any less, if he had just rolled with me to Orlando, maybe it would have never happened for me, and so I found when it comes down to belief in your entrepreneurial journey, take care of that stuff first. And then when you realize how powerful systems are, and that they're really, I say, they're designed to save you time, energy, and money. And so when you start to really understand, just get your beliefs and your mindset and the foundation first, right? And then start to look for mentors that can show you the way. There's people that have negative beliefs on mentors. I talk to people that say mentors they're bad people. They're just gonna rob me of my money, and it holds them back. So make sure that if somebody, I guarantee somebody probably watches this probably has that thought, but I would start with the beliefs, and then move into getting a mentor, or moving getting a mentor first, because they can help you with your beliefs, and then you can get the system. But there's a reason why a lot of courses these days, no matter generally what the course is, they start with mindset. If you really look at courses, some of the best, they don't start with the material that says, hey, look, this is how you do it, or the strategies. They start with the mindset, your beliefs, and your foundation.
Yeah. And I just love that you just said that, because again, for you guys who are just watching like every interview that we have on this channel, you already know, like, it doesn't matter what industry people we have from, like, because we talk few things, real estate and social media only. So if it's real estate or social media, just like Alvin, everybody, all of that comes down to, strategies, business, like growing your business and doing like Facebook, LinkedIn, or just looking for leads or investing, multifamily construction, Airbnb, whatever that might be, like mindset. That's what it comes down to, because every successful guy that, speaks on the show, just like Alvin, I mean, it's years and years of dedication, like pushing yourself to uncomfortable, pushing your boundaries to this like uncomfortable, like situation. So the more you can do that, because before, like when I was a little bit younger, I decided, I was like, now awesome. I'm going to fail as much as possible. Like, because awesome. I know that's going to push me to different levels. And I know like failure that means you're going again, pushing yourself, and you're learning something, because there is no other way around it. You're not going to learn if you're not going to fail. Of course, that's why you said getting mentors, to make sure that you limit the amount of failures, because you don't want to, again, time frame, you don't want to waste a lot of time just by failing, because it's stupid. But, maybe again, from mindset standpoint, because I just love talking about that, maybe you can, again, read probably hundreds of books by now. So maybe you can recommend, let's say, 3 business, personal development books that people can, can grab and read.
Sure. Yeah. I like The Science of Getting Rich. Here's a tip. If you're a heavy sleeper, get something like the Alexa app. I got the Alexa behind me over here. And while you're sleeping, tell Alexa to play the video, because your subconscious mind never sleeps, so you could really get ahead of people in those 7, 8 hours you're sleeping every day, because your subconscious mind never sleeps. So you can have Alexa play that. So I would start with The Science of Getting Rich. Then I encountered a book called Scaling Up. I forget who it's by, but it's a purple book. It's one that I really, really love. And let me think of another one that that I like. I don't want to say one that's, I feel like a lot of people have the same books. Actually, you know what? I got my phone. I made a booklet.
Don't tell me it's going to be Rich Dad Poor Dad, because everybody's,
Oh, no, no.
yeah, yeah. No, that's fine. It's a great book.
I would say, I'm going to give you four. I'm going to go High Performance Habits by Brendan Bouchard, and then
Yeah.
Psycho-Cybernetics, about, visualizing, vivid vision, just burning it into your mental about what you're going to do, rehearsing calls that you have with sellers. And Michael Jordan used to do that a lot, visualize himself hitting a shot before he ever did. And
Yeah.
the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between whether you do it in your mind and when you do it in real life. So, which is a beautiful thing, thank goodness, because we'd all be in trouble if not, So those are my four books that I would recommend.
I love it, man. Again, mindset books, mindset, it's all about the mindset and the perspective. Again, I love what you said about, Michael Jordan, because like, I think there was some sort of a experiment. It's not an experiment, kind of test where they did with two separate groups. You probably know where I'm going. One group was just like shooting, the ball into the basket, and, the ones who practiced and the ones that didn't practice, and they just thought about, imagined always, making the shot. And of course they fell short, but I think they're always like almost the same. So that's what it says, like without even practice, like you can, like if you just practice in here, you like have done already. So
you have done. Powerful stuff.
Powerful, man. Yeah. So awesome. So again, talking about the powerful stuff, I would love to explore, like what you're planning to do with the business, like going further, because this year is kind of a brand new, fresh. It's only started, but not even that, because business, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But if we're gonna look at this year, like what are you planning to do with the business? Where are you planning to take it? Like, if you can share a few goals of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna expand it. It's funny that you asked me. You caught me at a good time. I mean, any time would have been a good time, but we plan on doing $3 million in revenue this year. And then we're going to really push ourselves to the limit, because I really, just like even going to this conference and stuff like that, I feel like, I've been traveling so much, moving around so much, that I just got this apartment here. And, because one of the important things about success is having consistency in your routine, so much so to even do like go to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time every day. It means a lot. So that's the revenue amount of goal. I plan on doing more speaking and more podcasts, because, if nothing else, the strategies and stuff, that's really great. But as you could tell, I have a real affinity for the impact and the empathy that people have. So I'm going to do a lot more of that. And I think that my talks and what I say is it will be a little bit different, because it comes from a grounded point, and that's where we start. We don't start at, hey, look, we're going to get you more deals. We start at, hey, look, this is the impact that you can make, and that will put you ahead of other investors that take it from a standpoint of, we're just going to do more deals. And so that in terms of, that's really our goals for this year.
Awesome. Love it. So man, just shocked me, like $3 million, man. It's not even that. It's not the number, people just think like, oh, the money. No, it's not because I have the cash flow, man. It's the impact of people. That means that the impact of people that you're making. That what shocked me. It's the amount of money. Because again, for everybody who's fresh into the business space, like it doesn't work. It doesn't work if you're gonna think like, oh my god, like the money. You see the potential client, it's the money, man. No, like I know there are some people who say like, follow the money, get the money. And it's true. Like, if you're looking to pay your bills only, I mean, you're surviving, you should focus on money, but it shouldn't be the priority. The priority is taking care of the people, the clients, the customers, providing them the service, the value, and giving more than they ask for. When you do that, the money is going to follow. So, that's the truth, so I love it. The impact that you do on people. So, but maybe you can again share more mindset. Sorry guys, it's supposed to be a marketing podcast, but we're gonna touch before we wrap up on that. But maybe you can share, to the people, like why to do that, like why being this hungry, like 3 million, like should you just stop and just retire, travel the beaches, like why you keep pushing, like where is this drive coming from?
Well, there's certain things that have happened, and I realized that, hey, look, time is really precious for us. So I realized that from watching people, I'm already studying success. So like the people at the top of their industry. And first of all, they say if you ask in any industry, you can look at any industry that they're always saying it's 80% mindset or 90% mindset and like 10% just physical. And you can see this time and time again. And so there's certain things, and even recently. So shout out to my dad. He's going to be listening to this. He just had eye surgery and they messed up, so he can't really see right now. So so guess what? The impact to me is giving him something that he can listen to. So
Wow.
and these are the type of things that when you find impact that you can make, whether it be no matter how big or how small it is, it's going to naturally drive you. And then as a human, I think people discount what we've been able to accomplish. Think of all the things when it comes down to electricity or planes or cars or rocket ships, or as simple as creating paper, or even simple stuff like when man first made fire. People thought these were miracles, and they are miracles. And so if you know that we have a history as humans, these are all miracles. I don't think people look at it like that, but even the pyramids or building houses, like we came from huts and stuff. You know what I mean? So when you understand that these are miracles, you know that you have the capability to be a miracle worker. And so I don't shoot low when it comes to anything. I don't care whether I hit it or not, but this is one thing for sure. I'm not going to set the bar too low. I'm pretty confident in that aspect. And I just want to inspire people, because there's a lot of people watching all of us that may not say anything to us, but, maybe they're ready to give up, or they're ready to throw in the towel, and they say, this is not for me. But once they see your success, they're inspired. And so that's another reason why I do that, because it's for all of us to do. If someone's ready to commit suicide, they're not going to tell you, you know what I mean? But and you'll never know, maybe. But you having success, maybe it's something that you accomplished. The purpose and the gratitude and the fulfillment that it gives to you, that it saves their life. They're like, man, I'm not gonna kill myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna live, because if she can do it, I can do it. And so when you do it like that, it's just setting goals, because the goals are a reflection of the impact and the value that you get. So it's not that, hey, look, we say we want to do $3 million in revenue. It's that we want to have an impact that brings $3 million in revenue into our business and into our lives.
Exactly. Powerful, man. So, man, I just had so many questions in my head. I just need to clear this out, because it's like, it's amazing, but I see people making like mistakes again, focusing on money and all that. But, like, what do you think, like the goals, should like what you said, you had this kind of a limitation for yourself right now. It's not a limitation. What was the name that you said for the kind of a expectation, or whatever the name that you used? My English again is not the first language. So the bar. So you said the bar, right? You said the bar. And what do you think? Would you agree with me or not? You could set it higher.
Yeah, I could set it higher for sure. I'm glad you said that, man, because it's an important thing to say. Like, you could set it at 4 million or 5 million. And you can hit it.
If he would said that, he would be like, no. I would say, like,
yeah, right?
Probably no, he's lying.
I guess we're gonna see.
Yeah. So it's always could be higher. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's always going to be higher. Whatever you think right now, oh, no, it's only my limit. Could it be higher? Yes. And it's like, oh, shit. Yeah, it could be higher. And it's like, could it be even more higher? Yes. So, I mean, there's only the limitations that basically just kind of, keeps you where you are right now. So, and that's work. That's work. Like, when you have to work with yourself, of course, like in the business, any business, because now it's kind of a, pushed, like, particularly in the States, like, I love, I have the flag because it just represents me a couple things. But people already know who follow because I'm talk, like, in every show I said what it represents. But, it's just like, particularly in the States, like, entrepreneurship is kind of it's normal thing, like it's a capitalistic mindset, like everybody follow the money, you have to do great, like achieve the dreams and freedom and financially and just in life. And it's kind of pushed, like it's normal in there, right? And in Europe, it's kind of the same. Like, everybody, like, look, you go on like Instagram, what you just mentioned, like, we used to come out from like huts and like whatever, doing like living like as almost like lizards, right? And now we building all these houses and the dreams, like everything is available. But people are just locked in on these things right now, and they're limited by, oh, look at the, I'm going to the comparison thing. Yeah, it's going to ruin your life. It's going to ruin your life. If you're watching right now and you're comparing, like, oh, but I'm not a good, but look, Alvin, $3 million. I'm
Right,
just
yeah,
starting, man. I'm just
yeah,
starting. Like, look, look, Alvin started one day as well. And that
facts.
was, 8 years ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he decided like, man, I need to change something in my life. So
yeah.
you can either complain that Alvin is ahead of you, or you can change something.
That's a fact. That's a
So
fact.
I just want to show people just like yourself, because you're a proven example of basically having the business, again, helping other businesses,
Right.
achieving the success, having the result, having the right mindset, and just for people to see what it takes to have that stuff, for themselves, instead of watching Rolexes on Instagram and liking that. It's bullshit, so yeah, so it's awesome, man. So I don't know, like, from social media standpoint, again, what do you think? Like, where should people, again, I know I asked kind of similar questions. So beside like the Facebook bit before to wrap up, where should like real estate companies should focus on? And maybe you see something like new coming up, and like, maybe from a trend standpoint, like, what do you think Instagram is going to do? I don't know how much you're active, again, in
Yeah,
these different platforms, and how much you can talk about them. But do
yeah.
you think, like, should I spend more time like Facebook only, or should I go like, which direction should I go? Let's say if I have a like Airbnb business.
That's a great question. So I actually forgot that we do run Instagram ads as well, because
Okay.
Facebook owns Instagram.
Yeah.
So you run the ads from the same place, so that would be an option. I would start to look into LinkedIn ads, because if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Facebook owns them, but I'm not sure. But they are making a comeback. So maybe in the next like year or two, look into LinkedIn ads. And then YouTube ads. You've got visual businesses. And so you want to look into these type of things where you can capitalize on the visual. Like you say, you're a visual guy. When it comes to marketing, I don't do like sales calls like this. I do Zoom calls. And so, visual arts really is a huge thing. So I would look into any of these platforms where where it's known that where the visual aspect is king, and that you can capitalize on that. And just understanding what type of content is going to really set in with your audience. Because if you have a disconnect and you're not putting out the content that really it touches them, then it's nothing going to happen. This is messaging. So you have to craft a message that touches them, that gets them up. You got to think about it. A lot of times people are not coming to Facebook to sell their houses fast for cash. They're coming to look at cat videos and like wedding pictures and stuff. And so you really have to
Yeah.
come from a standpoint of, my message has to be so good and so powerful, and it has to be so filled with empathy that they actually take action. They leave Facebook, or you don't have to lose Facebook lead ads, but where they go and they submit their information, which is not entirely hard to do. But I just say that to say, just always think of the messaging. What are you giving off when you do this, or when you do that? Even so much, I just went to a marketing event. What does that tell people about who I am as a business owner, who I am as a leader, who I am as a visionary? What does that tell people that I actually went to this event and engaged in the culture? So anything that you do, think about the message that sends off to people, and does that connect with your ideal audience?
I love it. Telling the story,
Yeah.
so that's what it comes down to, because like it's an art. It's an
Right.
art form. Like you have to know how to tell the story, because
Mm-hmm.
again, there's like, you have to know the psychology, the way people think, and
Right.
there's statistics involved, and you have to kind of combine those two, and you have
Right.
to make your decision, maybe sometimes on a gut feeling, maybe you have
Yeah.
systems, like, it's, yeah, it's it is what it is. But like, now businesses could not, like, what do you think, would business would survive without social media, like if it's a real estate company? Or
I don't think so. I don't
yeah.
think so. Going into the future, the far future, I think that some businesses can survive. However, I think that just if you think about it, one of the clients I was just on where he said that his conversion rates with direct mail fell greatly. And that's why he went to. So if they already fell greatly, more people are going to come in as investors, and so you don't know how much further it's going to fall. And you can see different things like how people respond to direct mail and cold calling. A lot of times they're leaving bad reviews on investors' Facebook pages because they say, I'm tired of getting cold call. I'm tired of receiving unsolicited mail. So you want to start to move with the innovation, because not only does it give you another way to reach your audience, but it gives you a way that it's non-intrusive. It doesn't feel like, hey, this guy just intruded on my life by sending me this unsolicited mail. You know, they have the power of choice to take action with it or not.
Yeah. Man, it is what it is, you know, you know, sometimes I talk with these people and, you know, like yourself, again, who are in marketing space, and, you know, it's like, look, coming back to that, like the market's shifting and, you know, the downturn is coming up, and like you have to do these things. You have to push your marketing efforts onto that. And like, particularly in these times, because what's going to happen, like if people are gonna, let's say, you know, sell houses, like in your case, you know, and they're gonna buy houses, sell houses, like, you know, do that, you know, house transactions. So, you know, some other people, maybe, again, if it's gonna be different industry even, you know, people, instead of going and buying, let's say, something in a restaurant, some, you know, fancy steak and a wine, they're just gonna sit at home. They're gonna, you know, stop spending money, because that's what people do in the down cycle. They stop spending money. I don't need the BMW, man. We should sell the BMW. We're gonna get the Volkswagen. That's the name, the Volkswagen. We get a Volkswagen, and we're gonna, you know, maybe save on the, you know, we don't need to buy the fancy clothes now, because this is the time. You know, we're gonna keep the money. So, and we're going to buy a takeaway. We're going to turn on the TV. We're going to watch one of these entertainment channels, whatever the BS is, you know, showing that.
Yeah, right. Fact. I agree completely.
You know, and people are gonna watch TV, which they're actually going to sit on the couch, and there's 4 people and everybody's scrolling the phone.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, if you're going to be in there, like, you know, if you're going to work with Alvin, you use Facebook ads, people are going to be on Facebook, like always.
Facebook.
So, you know, like that's what I'm saying. Now it's the time. So it's always the time. But now in particular, because where we are in the market, so people should get concerned, because, again, like, as Rich Dad Poor Dad, as I mentioned, you know, like, it's a great book. I love when people mention that, because it changed my life. And I think millions of people of life, that's what it did. But, you know, it showed us basically that there's cycles in life and business.
Yeah, for
people are going to either lose or benefit from that. So make sure that you benefit from these, you know, cycles going forward.
I agree.
So again, before we wrap up, I just want to say, man, big thank you. You know, an honor, just dropping the knowledge, the gold nuggets, man. I really appreciate, you know, so what you do, you know, the people that you impact, you know, the things that you do for other companies, you know, the approach that you're taking in the market, you know, it's the right thing, what you're doing. So, you know, maybe before we go, you can tell people, you know, the best social media places that they can go and get in contact with you about you and your services and whatnot.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, well, this Facebook, you can either go to Alvin D. Tucker II on Facebook. I got 2 Facebook accounts, or Alvin D. Tucker, or you can go to our website, www.erupt, like a volcano, eruptsales.com. Or you can find me on Instagram, which I feel is cool. My name on there is Forbes Bound Baby. So here I come. Here I come, Forbes. Yeah, so I look forward to connecting with you all. Even if it's, you know, maybe it's not to do business, maybe it's just to consult or give you advice. I don't mind, you know, it just, if you can help. If you have a question, even outside, even if it's mindset, we spent a lot of time on mindset, and I can help, you know, then I'm all for it. And I mean that for sure.
Yeah. Oh, no worries, man. You know, some of the people are going to definitely come in and register for the business, because they already probably seen you on Facebook, but that's why they needed just this extra podcast episode where they're like, oh, that's it. I'm making my decision today. So yeah, that's what's happening, man. I really appreciate it. You know, you guys go in contact with Alvin. Again, you're going to find all the links down below as always. And, you know, if you enjoyed the show, which I really did, you know, really appreciate the time. You know, guys, what to do. Like, subscribe to the channel. I don't know, Alvin, do you have a YouTube as well?
I have one, but I don't frequent it.
Okay. Yeah. So Facebook and Instagram and all those. So go in contact with them. And guys, as always, I'm going to see you on the next episode. Thanks very much.
See you.